Hey, this is Sully for Antisocial News, and this is the Bodyguard Report for Friday, December the 22nd, 2017. Shabbat Shalom and happy holidays to everyone. This is coming towards the end of the year, and, it's a very exciting time for me at the moment because it is my 100th episode of the Bodyguard Report. I have been making these link lists, and I've been providing you the news a lot of times that the Western world is just not talking about since July 17th, 2017. And I'm proud of that. So we're going to show you some headlines from around the world, and all these links are in the link list. We have 2 stories linked from the World Health Organization. Actually, this is 7 stories in one here, so really 8 stories. The World Health Organization has some incredible stats on people living with this life-threatening disease, how it works, and how humans are fighting it. And this one is some pretty detailed stories and documents on the subject. Moving on, we have a shocking story out of San Francisco. Man stabbed in the neck while eating at Santa Rosa market. Kind of violence you don't expect from a peaceful or serene, beautiful place, a technological hub of America out of San Francisco. San Francisco Chronicle reporting. Check that story out. Link in the description. Prensa Libre reporting. Another journalist and a murdered YouTuber. Corpses hanging from bridges. Mexico sinks into violence. Pretty shocking situation there. Check that link out. 5 Bangsamoro Islamic freedom fighter bandits killed in North Cotabato clashes. Good job. Good job, Armed Forces of the Philippines. Bangsamoro Islamic freedom fighters, if you're not familiar, are bad guys. They are ideologically linked to the Islamic State, and they conduct terrorist attacks in the south of the Philippines. So, bad guys, in other words. Now, I also have in the link list a Ynet News article about 2 Palestinians killed in Gaza as riots hit Strip. Check that link in the description. Having some technical difficulties, not able to show it to you. Times of India in shock move. U.S. sanctions top Myanmar general for atrocities and human rights abuse. There were many complaints of conduct unbecoming a civilized country in the treatment of the Rohingya, even if the soldiers were combating legitimate terrorist threat. The abuse of the civilian population is not to be tolerated. So I'm glad this is getting an international attention. And I hope that the atrocities conducted by Myanmar are taken as seriously as Myanmar takes the threat of terrorist attacks and violence against the Rohingya's neighbors by the Rohingya, which is what started the conflict this year. Links in the description. Times of India reporting. Times of India also reporting 19 hurt as car ploughs into crowd in Melbourne. Now this is a Australian of Afghani descent rammed his car into a crowd. They are not yet calling it a terrorist attack, and they are saying that he has mental health issues. So be curious to see the follow-up on that story. Another Ynet News article. Turkish police arrest 15 senior military officers over coup attempt. So check this link in the description. A lot of people think that the coup attempt was actually just a power grab by the Erdogan administration. So check that out. Very curious story. And for those who might be political prisoners, life or death situation. Militants give federal government ultimatum to release $1 billion for Nigerian development. Niger Delta development. This is Vanguard Nigeria reporting, and this is a story about the Niger Delta Avengers. Well, specifically the Reformed Niger Delta Avengers, which I don't know if that's necessarily a different organization. They are a scary bunch of armed guys who are Western sympathizers and not fans of the Buhari administration. So it's a very complicated situation there. Check this story out and learn more about the convoluted political and militant crises in Nigeria, south of Nigeria, Igbo territory. All right, more technical difficulties, but this is a very interesting story out of Ireland, and it's Irish Times reporting that the public is urged against vigilantism after the Limerick murder. So a pensioner, meaning a retired woman, a retired person, this happened to be a woman, was murdered. And the police are trying to prevent the locals from basically taking justice into their own hands and murdering the suspected killers on their own. So it is a tense situation there. And we're going to be moving on to africanews.com, reporting on the US, UK, and Canada issue travel warning for Cameroon's southwest region. They are not messing around. They've been dealing with threats of violence and some horrific situations due to the what's starting to look like an all-out civil war. Now I have two articles on this. One is from Africa News and the other is from Cameroon, so you see more of what the local situation is on the matter. Several political and civil society figures such as Ni Janfru, Akare Muna, and Agbor Bala were received in audience on Thursday, December 21st, 2017, by Mrs. Patricia Scotland. They are discussing what the capital of the Anglophonic region is. So, very interesting situation. You can see it doesn't. When you look at these pictures, it doesn't look as much of a life or death situation as this picture does, but I assure you it is connected directly to that situation. So we're going to be moving on. Check out the Cameroonian crisis, CameroonInfo.net, and Africa News reporting. And I have two interesting stories out of Korea. Health gurus strip off to push organ donation. So this is sort of a happy story here. As a matter of fact, that is a happy story. Let's come to that one at the very let's put it that at the very end. And we have, so we'll look at a life or death situation caused by a spark. Look at this horrific fire damage. Firefighters and forensic investigators examine an 8-story building which was destroyed by a massive fire Thursday in Jecheon, North Jungcheong Province, Friday. The investigators suspect an electrical spark from a plumbing malfunction started the fire on the first floor and spread to more than a dozen parked vehicles. Korea Times photo by Ryo Hyojin. This is fires spreading through buildings, accidents, infrastructure, even in South Korea, which it really appears that they had incredibly good infrastructure to prevent anyone from dying in this situation, because that looks like an absolutely horrific fire. Let's see. Police, along with National Fire Agency and Forensic Services, began an inspection early Friday morning to look into the exact causes of the fire that quickly set ablaze the 8th floor building, leaving 29 dead and 20 injured. They kind of buried the lead on that one. But yeah, that's so body count on that one's 29. I would have put that right up here in the headline. And that is why the body count report exists. Now, who's not bad about bearing the lead is Marawi. Marawi Hero, a video put forward by Rappler. Rappler is a wonderful news source from the Philippines, and they have an incredible video about Captain Ramel Sandoval. So check this situation out, check this story, this incredible video. I watched it earlier today, and I am very glad that I wasn't recording because it really tore me up. It is an incredible story. So watch this entire video. It is... I don't want to give anything away. It is just a really incredible story. So, Captain Ramon Sandoval, I salute you. Incredible story. And then we have our very last story, which is health gurus trip off to push organ donation. Now, health trainers in Santa Claus costumes marched down the street in Myeongdong District, Junggu, Seoul, Friday to raise awareness of organ donation. Third from right, in the front row, is Arnold Hong, who spread nationwide health training fad in early 2000s. Now, why they're being so naked, I'm not sure, but if it's raising attention to organ donors and the need for them, which is a life or death situation on a very visceral level, I think it's a wonderful thing. Jiminy Christmas! Look at the arms on this woman here. She could beat you up. Jiminy Christmas! I wonder how much she bench presses or curls. I guess. No, she's got some meaty shoulders and pectorals too. I bet she does bench press. She could probably bench press me. Wow. So he's got the donor number or donor website written on him. That's very clever. So that's awesome. There were 573 organ donors and 248 human tissue donors in the nation last year, an increase of 148 organ donors in 2007. But Korea Organ Donation Agency President Cho Wan-hyun said that despite the increase, there is a dire need for more donors and patients waiting for help. This is a life or death situation, but it's not violent, and these people have found a fun way of spreading the news about it and showing some skin while they do it. So good on them. on finding a fun way to bring light to this very serious issue, the need for organ donors so they can save lives in Korea. And with that, I'm going to say thank you, everyone, for the support and for watching the videos. As I said, this is the 100th episode of the Body Count Report. And this was very hard to get started doing because, as I said, I did this because I think human life is precious and I hate needless political celebrity-obsessed news, and I wanted to see real news, and I wanted to put that out to people, and I didn't want to bury how many people died in the third paragraph of a story. I wanted to talk about the human life impact of situations before talking about cars, like that Korean story we just read, and that's why I'm doing what I'm doing here. And if you appreciate that, I thank you so much for tuning in. Also, please consider supporting the Patreon. I'm going to be sending out T-shirts. I have the new T-shirts are up on the Patreon. All patrons get a T-shirt until January 1st, 2018, and then only $5 and up patrons are getting a T-shirt. But that's what's going on, and I just thank you so much for watching, and thank you for your support. This is Sully for Any Social News, and this has been the Body Count Report. Shabbat Shalom.